Okay, welcome to the second defensive series of the game. Starting off, I'm going to be making shorter videos just like I did the last offensive drive, just to see if you guys like that better. I think, shorter videos, and then just you can run through each play, at your own leisure, or pick out which play you like to look at. In this case, he's going to be running a single back, 2 tight end, 2 receiver set, and you notice I haven't called a play yet. I always wait to call the play and after my opponent has called his, because I want to see what sort of package he's in, what sort of personnel he has. So in this case, it's usually a very balanced set. You have 2 tight ends to either side, or maybe 1 tight end, or 2 tight ends to the same side. Either way, I'm going to be in some sort of even front, either the 46 normal or the 4-4 split. In this case, I go with the 4-4 split, and I go with the cover 3 out of it. Now, the reason I go with this is right off the bat, you can see he has a tight on either side, wide receivers to the other side. I'm very balanced to cover whatever he does, and I like that. As I said, I call it cover 3. This means each of my defenders is covering a deep third, so he's actually a little tighter than that, right about there. Underwise, I have 4 under. I'm not in a dime, a quarter, or the dollar, so I won't be sending 5 under in this case. When you're in those types of nickel or the dime and quarter and dollar coverages, they usually have the 5 under, so it's actually combining a cover 3 over the top with a cover 2 underneath, so you have almost total coverage. So in this case, my opponent calls tight end seams. He flips it over to the left, and I believe he makes an adjustment here, as I believe he adjusts him from a comeback route to a hitch route. The tight ends are both running seams, and he's going to motion his Z across here and then run him on a dig or a drag route across. Alright, now so if we're actually looking at that against the coverage, alright, there's no outside threat here, no flat threat, because he actually keeps him in the block. So since there's no flat threat, this linebacker can keep gaining depth and get underneath the hitch route. This defender here, because there is the actual deep threat initially with this hitch, the hitch is actually going to be attacking deep and then cutting back inside. He has to respect that and kind of stay with it. Alright, with the safety here, he's going to work his way towards the center of the field in this case. Now, with this motion coming across, this corner is going to squeeze. He's going to squirm across, and then he's going to get into his 3. And since he has no deep threat to the outside, because we have the crossing route with the seam, no deep threat out here, he can actually bow his zone to the inside here to help out with the seam route, to squeeze the gap, to make that shorter. Because obviously there's a big window here. This one's getting smaller because of the motion and the actual combination route here. So just remember, when you're calling these different plays, combination routes, they're built, all these routes are built for one thing to help out the other. So in this case, he's actually running this to try to hit this underneath. That's usually the spot you want to go to when you call this combination. Now on the other side of the field, the other coin to it is to try to hit this. Alright, so let's run through the play, see what he does, see what happens with it, and we'll discuss it. Oh, the other thing I want to talk about really quickly, I'm going to switch over to this linebacker here. This is who I'm going to cover, or who I'm going to use to cover. So as I see this route getting deep, I'm going to get deep with him. I'm just going to keep going back until this guy starts to come into my zone. Once I see him attacking my zone, that's when I'll pass off this receiver to the deep coverage and work my way back downhill. Now sometimes I might do that a little late, sometimes I might do that a little too early. We'll have to wait and see what happens on this to see what I do. He's making the adjustment, I believe, and making that little hitch. I've made a couple adjustments to have my defenders play the inside routes and have them play short. I like to do that when I'm in a zone, especially in a formation like this, which really doesn't have too many outside attacks outside of the tight end corners. So as you can see, I'm gaining depth here. My safety's made his way to the middle of the field. Corner squirmed over now. He's gaining his depth. And I'm covering this tight end, staying just inside here so that if he tries to throw it over the top, I have a deflection at the very least. Now I pass him off to the deep coverage. Once the quarterback sees that, actually he may have made that decision. No, he made the decision right about the same time I pass him off to throw this seam. Now, because he does that, it's a squeezed zone. So because it's squeezed, my defender is able to get in on it. Hopefully, unfortunately, he didn't get the interception. He should have. I wanted to user that, but as you can see, when I usered it, actually switched me over to the safety, who wasn't quite in position to make that play. On the other side of the field, I think the one thing he could have done to help himself out a little bit, usually when you want to hit these seams, he knows this is going to be squeezed because he's motioning the guy across. So he has to know this corner is going to be coming inside and tightening up this zone here. So what I would do is send him on a fade instead of just a straight seam. Send him on a fade angle here. And the reason I would do that is if you actually look at what his guy does, he redirects inside of my linebacker here instead of going outside. Well, when he does that, now he's basically put himself out of the play because now he's running right into my safety here. So my safety is effectively able to help out with the coverage here and to cover him very easily because he redirects inside and he doesn't get that nice split in here between the corner and the safety. That would have probably been his best bet. I mean, he can hit this underneath here, and he probably would have made the catch and got himself about a good 4 or 5 yards too. This is the second hardest throw outside of throwing a hitch here, where you have both under and top coverage. So he's got an over-under in this case, because there is no flat threat, so the flat defender can just keep getting depth and get right under that hitch.